Now, in this seminar, you will gain information on the changing primary school landscape, the 6 years primary school curriculum, as well as the diverse academic and character programs that are offered in schools. And today, we are very glad to have two principals with us today. One of them, they are Mrs. Lee-Koh Cheng, the one on the extreme right. She is the principal of Springdale Primary School. We have another principal, Madam Rashidah Abdul Rasip. She's the principal of Westview Primary School. Some of you might be staying nearby then. Now, incidentally, both of them have more than 20 years of experience as primary school educators, and both of them have 2 teens. They have the experience in raising the young, and hence they understand the joy and also appreciate the challenges that parents face in raising the young. Today, they will help you to make informed choice on primary school that best fit your child. MOE latest tagline is every school a good school. So which school will be the one that best fit your child? And as parents, they will also share how we could reflect on our critical role in nurturing our child confidence and interest in learning, and how we could partner schools to ensure the transition from preschool to primary school a smooth one. Without further ado, let's put our hands together to welcome Mrs. Lee and Madam Rashidah.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? How are you doing? Good? Are you tired from shopping? Or you've been here since morning to join all the seminars? Oh, that's very good. But after today's presentation, you can then go shopping. Because I think this is the last, right? Okay. Right. I'm Rashidah, principal of Westview Primary, and just now I think Melissa has introduced to you my co-presenter, Siew Cheng from Springdale Primary. We are both from good schools. Okay, at this seminar, we want to help you answer the following questions. What are you preparing your children for? What are our schools doing to prepare them? How can you as parents support your child? And finally, what could some of the useful resources be for you as parents in preparing your child for primary school education? Now, when we prepare our young for primary education, we are actually preparing them for the future. And at the primary school, we equip them with a strong foundation of basic numeracy and literacy skills through meaningful learning experiences, which are fun and which are also engaging. Now, we know that the world is increasingly getting volatile and complex, so we recognize that besides numeracy and literacy skills, we also need to give our children additional competencies, because these competencies are now necessary for them to thrive in a new age of rapid change and unprecedented connectivity. So to address this, MOE has developed a 21st century competencies framework for our education system. And this is what the framework looks like. So a student with 21st century competencies will be a confident person who has a strong sense of right and wrong, is adaptable, is resilient, knows himself, is discerning in judgment, thinks independently and critically, and communicates effectively. What else is he? He is a self-directed learner who takes responsibility for his own learning. He questions, he reflects, and he perseveres in the pursuit of learning. He is also an active contributor who is able to work effectively in teams. He exercises initiative. He takes calculated risks. He is innovative and strives for excellence. And lastly, he is also a concerned citizen who is rooted to Singapore, has a strong civic consciousness, is informed, and takes an active role to better the lives of others around him. Really a tall order for our children. But that's what we aim to do, to develop them to become these desired, future citizens of Singapore. Now, these competencies are underpinned by 3 areas of emerging competencies, which are civic literacy, because we live in this digital age, global awareness due to globalization. They work in different cultures, therefore they also need cross-cultural skills. Definitely they need critical and inventive thinking. And I think recently you may have heard about our country doing very well in PISA, coming in first, right, for problem solving. So it's through critical and inventive thinking, information and communication skills. Definitely our children need to learn to communicate very well in future. Now these are all necessary skills besides the competencies I shared with you earlier. And that will not be enough, because our children must also be well-adjusted individuals. And therefore, besides those skills, we also need to equip them with SE competencies. What are SE? Social and emotional competencies. So social and emotional learning is the acquisition of skills needed to recognize and manage emotions. You see, our kids also have to be emotionally healthy, right? Develop care and concern for others. He makes responsible decisions. He establishes positive relationships and handle challenging situations effectively. And the core of it all, what you see in the middle there, core values. What are these core values? There are 6 of them. They are respect, responsibility, integrity, care, resilience, and harmony. So all these have been identified to be the foundation upon which good character is built. Okay, so this is the framework that all primary schools use to equip our pupils with values and skills to prepare them for the future. Now, in every domain of learning, there is, in every school, the stages of learning. And if you have been following the course debates in Parliament, during the Committee of Supply budget debate, our Minister for Education set out the key goal of the MOE, which is to bring out the best in every child and in every domain of learning. So it is not just about academic subjects. You just must ace your exams. It is also about development in the other areas. What are they? Physical, emotional, all right, arts, aesthetics, and also in CCA. Okay? So we are looking, and definitely values, because our education is also about student-centric and values-driven education. So we want to produce all-rounders, okay? Kids who are developed in all the various faculties: cognitive, aesthetics, physical, and emotional, arts, and so on, okay? So in every school, a good school, what do we mean by that? We mean that every school is not the same school. So every school is different. Every school has its distinctive programs. But what it also means is that every school is good in its own way, seeking out to bring out the best in every child. So if we say we are also from good schools, that means our schools are also looking, or rather providing programs to seek out the best in every child that comes to our school. So the education journey has many stages, and it's a lifelong one. So at each stage, a child learns what is appropriate and builds the basics and fundamentals for the next stage. And to make learning meaningful, each stage needs to be rigorous, well-designed, and appropriate for the development of the child. So we in MOE and schools will definitely strive for a more open and inclusive system to help every child who comes to our school. Okay, so rest assured that when you put your child in a primary school, he will get the help that he needs to meet his own needs also. Okay, so a child is unique, a child is different, a child is a gift. So when he comes to us, we want to seek out, right, what are the needs that we can help him, so that he, in providing those needs, he can then become the kind of child that we want him to be for the future. It's also to seek out the best. Okay, if we are able to identify what is it that his talent is, so we can nurture that talent. It can be in academic, it can be in sports, it can be in arts, aesthetics, and so on. But we want him to develop that talent so that he can contribute to the country in future in that particular area. So we also want to make the school a much more open and inclusive community. Okay? So the primary school years are the most important phase actually in a child's education. Okay, but definitely there's also preschool. So in formal schooling, primary school would be a very important education place for your child's education, and because in the primary school we lay the foundation, right? And it is also the time when your children are the most inquisitive, right? Because when they come to us straight from kindergarten, from K2, they will still be very curious, very inquisitive, and they want to learn, they want to discover learning. So when they come to us, we also want to build their confidence and their desire to learn. We want to expose them to different aspects of learning, both in terms of academic and non-academic areas, so that they have a well-rounded primary education. And we want to expose them, right, to a range of activities, so that through these activities they can discover their abilities, maybe they can also discover their talents, and then what can they do from there. So the aims of primary education will be to nurture the whole child, lay a strong foundation, and prepare them well for the future. So in nurturing well-balanced and confident children, we want their positive years in a primary school to be positive. If they have a negative experience in a primary school, it will not help them in their secondary school years later. So what do we mean by positive experience? They come to school, they're very happy, they make friends, they develop a love for learning. Okay? They must develop a love for learning, and because they really want to learn, that's why they're there. And all parents, I know, I'm a parent also, and I had my children in primary school. All of us want our children to do well. Okay? And primary school education will then give them a good grounding in English, in mother tongue, and mathematics, these main three subjects, so that they have a firm foundation of knowledge and skills to build on. And most important of all, we also want our children to enjoy learning. They must be able to find learning fun, right? They must be engaged so that they will continue to want to learn. Have you heard of this program, PAL, Program for Active Learning? Has anyone heard of this? Yes? Okay. Some of you with already primary school going children may have heard. All right, what is PAL? PAL is an acronym for Program for Active Learning. And many primary schools have already implemented PAL. There's still some primary schools which have yet to do this. And in PAL, what we have is that we expand learning beyond the classroom, because through PAL activities, we provide the child with more opportunities to participate in non-academic activities. So they participate in programs like for music, outdoor education, visual arts, and sports. Okay, and these programs are actually modular activities, and we do that. We get our children to participate in these when they're in primary 1 and primary 2 about once a week. Okay, and I tell you, whenever my children or my pupils, it's time for PAL, they remember the day, and they come to me and say, "Is it today PAL day?" Because they're really looking forward to these PAL programs. Let me just show you a video on this PAL. Yeah. This is taken from my school, just a short video for you to enjoy. Oops, sorry, I did it wrongly. Okay, let's try again. So as children learn in many ways, our teachers also use different teaching methods such as investigative tasks, role play, drama, and outdoor activities that are suitable for young children. And the purpose of this is not just to make learning enjoyable, but definitely to ensure effective learning. Now let me talk a little bit about STELLA program. Now STELLA is an example of the use of an engaging teaching method. It aims to strengthen both language and reading skills as well as promote a positive attitude towards reading in the foundational years. All right? It is stands for Strategies for English Language Learning and Reading, and it is the program that we use when we teach English. And it's also a program for helping Singapore children improve their language and learning through high-interest materials and activities. And children through the STELLA program learn through shared reading and shared experiences. These shared readings and experiences provide a context for children to think, to talk, and write about what they are learning. And I noticed that in STELLA program, what the children are doing is they're doing a lot more talking. They're asking a lot of questions. We make use of big books for English, and we get the children sometimes to complete the stories. And we really stimulate their thinking because we don't want the children to just be sitting down listening